Hi, in this video, we'll be looking at the ESP, which is the email service provider, or you could even call it a CRM. And I'll switch over to LeadsHook now and show you what that is. So I'm going to be playing around with ActiveCampaign, and I'll show you how to do that. Now, the same principle applies with all of the email service provider nodes, which is where are you transferring the data. Now, in order to do that, we're going to set up an integration with ActiveCampaign. I'll see if I already have a connection set up. So we go under admin lead collection. And I can see that I have not set that up. So let me set that up now, and then I'll show you what to do. There are separate videos available in the knowledge base that shows you how to set each one of these up. Pretty simple. It's 1-2 minute videos. The process takes about 60 seconds to set each one of these up. So I'll go ahead and set that up now, and then we'll continue with this training. Okay, so here's how to set up an integration. I thought I'll just show that to you anyway. So in this case, ActiveCampaign. I'm just going to put down LeadsHook AC active. Sorry, I'm going to call this the LeadsHook account. And so you can have, because you can integrate into multiple ActiveCampaign accounts. So if you're managing client campaigns, then you can set up all of the integrations through this one place. So it's not a one integration. You can set up as many integrations as you want. So I'm going to be integrating to the LeadsHook test account that we have. Give it a description if you want to. Let's say if you're managing multiple accounts from the same business or the same company name, then add a description here to differentiate between the two accounts. Otherwise, they all look the same. This is where you put the API URL and the API key, which is available inside the settings of ActiveCampaign, and I'll just go ahead and enter these in now and show you what to do next. Okay, so I entered the credentials, which is the URL and the API key, and pressed save, and so that's what that looks like. That's the URL and that's the API key right there. Oops, there was no need for me to press that because I did not update it. All right, so let's go back to lead collection. So the next thing you need to do is integrate we need to do the field mapping, right? Because LeadsHook has its fields, and on this side we want to set up the field mapping. So ActiveCampaign has the ability to have multiple lists. I'm just going to pick this one called New Lists, and we can see this is the LeadsHook fields. That they are the fields available inside ActiveCampaign, obviously from old campaigns that I've created. So first name, I'm just going to drag and drop that over here. So you need to drag and drop these into their respective areas, which is right over here. So that's the ESP field. Now, if you do have a field that you have inside LeadsHook, but you have not created inside your third-party email service provider, that's pretty easy. So let's say, for argument's sake, I'm just going to go to a different page here. Let's say that I have that, maybe I'll pick this one here, the UTM source. Let's say if that's a field that does not exist inside ActiveCampaign, I can click that, come over here and click auto create and map. What it's going to do is we're going to log into ActiveCampaign via the API, create the field, and then map it automatically. So I don't think that exists. Let me just check here into UTM so I can show you that as an example. Yep, now it does not exist. So let's go ahead and do that. Perfect. So that field was created inside ActiveCampaign, and it's been mapped now. So any values I pass to UTM_source will appear inside ActiveCampaign in a field called UTM_source. So just to kind of recap, whenever data comes up here, it's going to end up in this field inside this list. So you need to do a new mapping for every list. And so if I wanted to map, say, for example, a different list, so this LeadsHook 10, you can see that it's not mapped here anymore. So I would need to drag and drop it again, right? But we'll be using new list 10 as a way to do our lead transfer. Now, so field mapping's done, which is good. Be sure to press save, which is on the right hand side over here, to see if the mapping has saved. Go back in here, select your list, and you'll see that it pops up with this. So therefore my field mapping is done. Now I didn't have to map last name because we're only transferring first name and email. We're only capturing first name and email. But for the purpose of this test, I just thought I should show you with an extra mapping over here. Right. Now let's go back to our decision tree and work out how to finally deploy ActiveCampaign. Now they're the few options that you have here. So I'm going to remove these ones. The format to follow is integrate to your ESP integration before your results page. So that way it follows a logical sequence. You ask the questions, you grab the data or the form, you pass it to ActiveCampaign, and then you show the results page. If you have it in this order, then sometimes you might find that it doesn't get to this node depending on the ESP of the way the APIs work, and we've found that the best setup to have the most consistent experience and be to be as bug-free as possible is to set it up in this way. So that way we force the lead transfer before transferring to the results page. So this would be the structure I would follow. So just to finish up the connections, everything goes over here. Okay, so that would be the one way to do it. But it'll only go to into one results page, right? Because there's only one exit here. So we can't do that. That's exactly what we're trying to do. So what we're going to do instead is let's go ahead and just remove all of these, and we're going to clone the ActiveCampaign node. Now this is once again a very inefficient way of doing it, because you can use what's called the decision nodes, which allows you to put the logic and split that up into, so you only need one node. But for the purposes of this simple example, this simple course, we're going to be doing it this particular way. Actually, I won't do that because I want to do updates first. So let's go ahead and update this. I'm going to go ahead and pick my connection. I'm going to go ahead and pick my list, and I'm going to go ahead and pick my form. ActiveCampaign needs a form setup as well, because your opt-in settings are controlled from the form. Right, so this you'll see the extra details on the node right over here. Now I can just go ahead and just clone this and clone that and clone that as well. Right, so there you go. That's the ActiveCampaign integration done. So now what's going to happen is we're going to grab the lead in this form. The lead's going to get passed over to ActiveCampaign, and then the results page is displayed. And this basically completes the ESP part of this. There are better ways of deploying it in this way. I've done it in this way so we can keep it nice and simple and also logically show you the features. But when you start doing it at volume, there are better ways to set this up, which we'll go through in a future course. So that completes the ESP integration. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. We'll be looking at the data capture part and the additional features and the additional tasks remaining, like designing and finally doing the test. Right, so I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Chat soon. Bye for now.